Have you ever heard of a battery made of sand? It's not a joke. It's a new way to store energy, and it's called a sand battery. Imagine a giant sandbox, but instead of just holding sand, it holds heat. That's what a sand battery does. It's like a big thermos, keeping things warm for a long time. These batteries are super useful for providing heat to homes, offices, and even entire cities. Instead of burning things like coal or wood, we can use the heat stored in the sand battery. This means cleaner air and a healthier planet. Sand batteries are still quite new, but they have the potential to change how we power our world. They're especially helpful in places where the sun doesn't always shine or the wind doesn't always blow. So, how do these sand batteries work? Let's dive in and find out. So, how do you actually build a sand battery? It's simpler than you might think. First, you need a big container, like a really big steel tank. This container needs to be well insulated to keep the heat from escaping. Think of it like wrapping your hot chocolate in a thick blanket. Next comes the fun part, filling it up. While we call it a sand battery, some of them actually use a special type of rock called soapstone. It's a byproduct of making fireplaces, so we are essentially recycling. The soapstone is crushed into small pieces and poured into the container, thousands of tons of it. This soapstone is great at holding on to heat, kind of like how a hot potato stays warm long after you take it out of the oven. Finally, we need a way to heat up the soapstone and a way to take the heat out when we need it. Don't worry, we'll talk about that in the next section. Now that we have our giant container full of soapstone, how do we turn it into a battery? Well, we need to charge it up with heat. To do this, we use electricity. Remember those giant windmills that generate electricity? Sometimes they produce more electricity than we need at that exact moment. We can use that extra electricity to heat up the soapstone. It's kind of like plugging in a giant electric blanket inside the container. The electricity flows through special heating elements, making them really hot. This heat is then transferred to the soapstone, which can get as hot as 500 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to melt some metals, but don't worry, the container is designed to handle that kind of heat. When we need to use the stored energy, we simply take the heat out of the soapstone and use it to warm up water. This hot water can then be pumped into homes and buildings for heating. It's like having a giant hot water bottle that can keep an entire town warm. Section 4, Sand Batteries in Action, Current Projects and Success Stories. Sand batteries are already being used in some parts of the world. One of the biggest projects is in Finland, a country that knows a thing or two about cold weather. They've built a sand battery that can store enough heat to keep a small town warm for a whole winter. This project is still being tested, but it shows how much potential sand batteries have. Imagine a future where entire cities are powered by renewable energy sources like wind and solar, with sand batteries storing the excess energy for when the sun isn't shining or the wind isn't blowing. That's the future we're working towards. Another cool thing about the Finland project is that they're using soapstone from a nearby fireplace factory. This means they're not only creating clean energy, but they're also reducing waste. It's a win-win situation. Section 5. A bright future. The potential of sand batteries. Sand batteries might sound like something out of a science fiction movie, but they are quickly becoming a reality. They offer a simple, affordable, and sustainable way to store energy, especially heat, for long periods. As we continue to explore and develop this technology, we can imagine a future where sand batteries play a crucial role in powering our world. Think about all the sunny places on Earth where heat is abundant. Sand batteries could capture that heat and store it for later use, providing a reliable energy source even when the sun goes down. This could be a game changer for many developing countries that lack access to reliable electricity grids. The future of sand batteries is bright, and it's exciting to think about all the possibilities they hold for a cleaner, more sustainable future.